Right, will I now? Namaste everyone, welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to be back this Sunday with all of you. As you know, we meet every Sunday, 8 a.m. US Pacific time to learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Hindi University, where you will find 550 plus videos, and you can catch up based on your current level. If you're interested in joining our live classes, you can also go to our main page and learn about us, which is basically tiny.cc/Hindi University. Okay, and you can pretty much find all the classes structured on this page. Even if you missed any of the previous classes, you'll be able to catch up. You'll find the Zoom link, as well, that we use every Sunday. And in case if you're interested in joining the practice sessions, you will find those details as well. And as you all know, lately we've been following the book called Teach Yourself Hindi. Okay, Teach Yourself Hindi, which is a book written by Professor Rupert Snell. He's a professor at University of Texas, Austin, and we're systematically covering the book. And right now we are on chapter number 18. Okay, which is the last chapter of this book. So after this session, we'll have one more session and we'll try to wrap up and we'll restart, the course a little bit more advanced, but we'll try to cover, at all levels. Okay, so, you will, if you are a beginner, you'll be able to, start from scratch. If you're advanced, you'll still be able to feel that you're being challenged on new things. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. As you all know, we were covering a topic called participles in Hindi. So we will continue that topic. Okay, Hindi participles. Hindi participles. So it's a very interesting topic, where we in the last two classes, we build the foundations around that. And, to give you a quick summary, because some folks, may have missed it, typically, when we talk about some of the concepts, we go through the verb, like to smile, to cry, and we say, they are used as a, verb. To smile is muskurana, or, to laugh is hasna, right? Muskurana. Okay, to cry is rona, and these are written in the infinitive form. Okay, so, but there are grammatical constructs where the words that you have, they can be used as adjectives. Okay, those constructs are called participles. So while you have smile, to smile is, muskurana, or I am smiling, main muskura raha hu. But the same thing if it is said as a smiling boy, or a crying baby, we learn that these are not really used as a verb. Okay, these are used as verbal adjectives. Okay, and to use them as adjectives, they are deriving from the verb. So what you would do is, you would use the participle form of the verb. Okay, so it's participle form of the verb along with the form of hona, and that does the magic for you. So when we learn, like, for smiling boy, and we learn about there are two types of participle, imperfective and perfective. Imperfective, where the thing is continuing. Okay, whereas perfective, where thing already happened. So for smiling boy, we said it's muskurata. Muskurata, we change muskurana to the imperfective participle form, and we put hua because boy is masculine singular, and we said muskurata hua ladka, and that does the magic for you. Similarly, crying baby, we said we changed the form of rona to an imperfective participle and we said rota hua bacha. Okay, so these were the examples of imperfective participle. Okay, and we did the entire, if you want to go into the detail, you can go 2 lectures back, and that was the whole concept where we learned about it. Then we say it's not just the imperfective, there are perfective participles as well. Okay, which are basically action that has already occurred. Okay, and it's basically a state that results from a completed action. And we learned that is like, what about like to burn is jalna. Okay, and we use the example, if we have an example called burning stick or burning paper, that is still imperfective, and we learned about that is, we will say as jalta hua paper or jalta hua kagaz. Okay, jalta hua kagaz. So you change it to imperfective form. After that form of hona, jalta hua kagaz. But what if we want to use a perfective form and we want to say that the paper that is already burned? And the example was burnt. Sometimes you write burned paper as well. Okay, there we use the perfective form. Okay, and you will, because it's already happened, you will change the form of the verb to a past form. You will remove the na and you will put a, just like you were using a form of the verbs in past tense. Okay, and you will call it jala hua kagaz. Okay, jala hua kagaz. And last class we spent good amount of time covering all those cases. Okay, let me just make sure that there are not folks waiting on the waiting room here. Okay, so this was we covered. Now this topic gets interesting because so far we have learned the form where we are using them as adjectives. Okay, these verbal adjectives are describing the state or the quality of the noun. Paper that is burned. Okay, a boy who is smiling. Okay, but what if they can also describe the adverbs of the given noun? Okay, can we use these verbs as adverbs as well? Okay, so that's what we're gonna do in today's class. And then miscellaneous use cases of Hindi participles. So this topic, it may sound intimidating, but think about it this way. It's all a magic of using the verb along with form of hona. That's the summary of it. Okay. So even while you're speaking it, it may not come to you spontaneously, but when somebody is using, you see them using hona along with the verb, that should, ring the bell to you that, potentially that might be a participle. Okay. So now let's use a simple example and then we'll build on top of it. So let's say you want to say something in Hindi which is I said. Okay, how would you say that in Hindi? I said. Very simple sentence. I said. All of you can try it in the comment. Okay, this is sort of a warm-up exercise as we are starting. I said. There are many ways to say it, but let's give it a try. Okay. Okay, great, Terry. So you can use the word called bolna, as some of you are trying it. You can also say kehna. Either way is fine. Okay, awesome. All of them are correct. Okay, so you will say, because it's written in past indefinite and it's a transitive verb, you will use ne along with the pronoun, right? So because you say something, so you will say maine kaha. Maine kaha. Now, sometimes when you say it in a particular manner. Okay. Now, in the past, when we learned about adverbs, we said same thing. If you were to say, I said carefully. How will you say that in Hindi? Anyone would like to give this one a try? I said carefully. Sharmila ji, you want to unmute yourself? I said carefully. Okay, awesome. Some of you are already trying that. Taraji, you want to tell us how will you say that? You have to unmute yourself. I said carefully.
मैंने ध्यान से बोला.
Okay, you can say मैंने ध्यान से कहा, or you can say मैंने सावधानी से कहा. That's also correct. I'm going to put 2A. सावधानी से कहा. Now, these are the regular adverbs that you have, because as you learn adverbs, you will learn that that they are used along with words and then say carefully, but what if they are derived from verbs? Okay, we will look into those are the regular adverbs example. But let's say your sentence is, I said laughingly, and this may not be used very commonly, but just for the sake of example, I said laughingly. Who would like to give this one a try? We've not done it. I said laughingly. Clearly, there are not adverbs forms available in Hindi, something like this. So you have to derive it from a verb. Okay? You know how to say to laugh in Hindi. Okay? At least give it a try, even if it is incorrect. You can write it. Uni, you want to give this one a try?
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if this is correct or not. मैंने हंसती हुई बोला.
Okay, मैंने हंसते हुए बोला और मैंने हंसते हुए कहा. This is correct actually. Okay, so in the past, when we are learning about the imperfective participle and perfective participle, when they are used as an adjective, okay, we had रोता हुआ बच्चा, रोते हुए बच्चे, रोती हुई लड़की. If you notice, in those cases, similarly, जलता हुआ कागज, जलती हुई लकड़ी, जलती हुई लकड़ियाँ. If you notice, in the previous cases, the form of hona was based on the number and the gender of the noun. But when they're used as an adverb, it will always be hue. Okay? So you conjugated this correctly, right? मैंने हंसते, and then after that, it's always हुए. मैंने हंसते हुए कहा. Let's look at more examples because one may not do the trick here. Okay, so I said laughingly, मैंने हंसते हुए कहा. Let's take one simple one. I'm going to keep rest of them exactly as that. So it's, I said in a crying manner or cryingly. Okay, I don't know if this is a real adverb, but in a crying manner, it's what I'm trying to write here. How will you say that? I said cryingly. Who would like to give this one a try? Shannon ji? You know the verb to cry is rona.
Sorry, Ashu, I'm still stuck on the previous one.
Okay.
I missed what the present one is.
So this one is मैंने हंसते हुए कहा. The verb here to laugh is हंसना. Okay?
Right.
So what you do is you conjugate this verb in a participle form it will invariably end with a sound. Okay, so the verb was hasna, you remove the na, and it's always ends with a form. Okay, so मैंने हंसते हुए कहा. Let's try the same thing here. I said cryingly. To cry is rona, and you will change it to
Rone.
so remove the na, change it to participle, always ending with a sound.
Rota.
Okay, a sound, a. Rote,
Rote.
and then hue.
Okay.
That's it. So
Rote away.
very good. So मैंने रोते हुए कहा. Okay. Good. I'm glad you asked this question. Let's do more. So it will kind of strengthen the concept. So these were the simple ones. Let's say you have, I said shyly or something. Shy. I don't know if this is in a shying manner is what I'm trying to say. In a shying manner. Okay. What is the verb here? I think it's, let me move it. Maybe it will, okay. Who would like to give this one a try? This one could be hard. Sharmila ji, I don't know if you are there. But if you could hear me, maybe you can help out.
Namaste. I just came from the kitchen,
Okay.
but I do not know what shy would be. Could you explain it?
It's the reason I'm asking you because it has something to do with your name.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. मैंने शर्माते हुए कहा.
Very good. मैंने शर्माते हुए कहा. Okay. So what is the verb here?
Well, I'm not sure. Sharmana.
Yeah,
Is it?
That's right. That's exactly right. The verb is sharmana. Okay. So you.
I simply heard it in sometime in movies you hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sharmana, right? And what does it mean?
Well, to be shy.
To be shy. That's right. To be shy or to feel shy. Okay. It has many things, but it is used as sometimes it's used as to be shy. Okay. Many use cases it could be used as elegant as well. Sometimes, most of the time, it is a very good quality, right? So what you did was you have this word. You change it to the participle form ending with a, right? So you remove the na, okay, sharma, and then you put ta, te, or ti. Those are the options. But I said it's always ending with a sound, right? So that's why you said मैंने शर्माते हुए कहा. Let me take a pause here if there are any questions so far. Making sense? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Ashu, is this for both genders? It's always like this.
That's right. You say it, I say it. Both of us will say in the same thing. मैंने शर्माते हुए कहा. Yeah. Okay, let's do some more. Rupert Snell uses some different examples. I do recommend you should definitely look at those as well. Those are a little bit more complex, but I think having gone through these would make it much easier for you to look at those advanced examples. Like, he said some examples like तारीफ करते हुए सुना or something like that, right? I mean, so those will make much more sense. Now you have, I said nervously.
Ashu Ji, just on that example you just gave, that's on page 233. There's no hue in there, so that's why it was a little. Both are there. If you look at the examples, it has both.
I said hue because it's as you are learning this concept, it'll be much easier to digest it. But you are right, there are cases where the adverbial form may not have hue.
Okay, so it's the same meaning.
Yes, that's right. Now you have, I said nervously. Nervously. Who would like to give this one a try? Kelly, you want to do this one? I said nervously.
I don't know what it is to be nervous.
How will you use the formula?
So, mene something with a hue kaha.
Remember the Hindi mein, what was the original formula? Hindi mein dash को क्या कहते हैं? I don't know if you guys recall. We learned about it. को क्या कहते हैं?
Long time ago.
Yeah. So this is basically our go-to thing. Like if you get stuck and if you don't know something that you know in English but you don't know how it is said in Hindi, you can use this formula. Hindi में tree को क्या कहते हैं? Hindi में book को क्या कहते हैं? Hindi में train को क्या कहते हैं? Or something like that, right? So Hindi में nervous को क्या कहते हैं, right? So I mean, this is just like a recap of the previous formula that we learned. So anybody would like to give this one an answer? Let's say Kelly ji is asking you. Very good,
Sorry.
right? Yeah, very good, very good. So what is the verb here?
Ghabrana.
Very good.
Ghabrate hue.
That's right. So the verb is ghabrana. Ghabrana. And as you rightly did, you remove the na and you change the ending to the participle ghabrate, ending with a. Okay? And you're saying it, maine ghabrate hue ka. The reason I'm covering it because I'm keeping it same. It's always main. And the thing is, like, I'm not adding too many variables here, so you only learn because this thing itself is new. Okay, the concept is new. Most of the time when you're reading any of the Hindi novels, you will see that the author will use it quite frequently. The manner in which the actor is or actress is saying something. So this will play a key role there. Like, where the name of the person is, let's say, Alex, and the author will write Alex ne ghabrate hue kaha, because they want to portray that emotion. When you're reading it, you cannot see it, right? So they will use these adverbial like sort of participles or verbal adverbs quite a lot. Okay, I'll do one more. And
So all these are the imperfective participle, right?
that is correct. These are all imperfective participle, right? Because
Are
this
there times when you use the perfective for any reason with this construction, or no? This is all imperfective.
it's all imperfective. I couldn't come up with any examples where you would use the perfective. So I tried to look into it as well. I couldn't really find. Let's do one more here.
So could we also use like pareshan for nervous, like worried?
You
I
can.
mean, just because it's more easy to like a more common use.
That is correct. You can use pareshan.
And how we will say pareshan?
What do you think?
Mene pareshate.
So the verb then it will become pareshan hona.
Pareshate hue.
No, pareshan hona. You are using, because you will end up using hona along with that. Pareshan itself is not a,
P, not an H. Pareshan.
Pareshan. Yes. So you will use it together. Pareshan hona as a verb, right? So you will not really conjugate this one. You will use this, conjugate this one. Try to do this one, Simona.
Yeah. So mene pareshate hue
Don't-
kaha.
Try one more time, but this time don't try to change this one. Try to play with this.
Pareshan.
हाँ
Hota.
होते
Hote. Kaha.
परेशान होते हुए कहा.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And no more kaha.
No, you can say परेशान होते हुए कहा. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Yeah.
Ashu Ji, the distinction there, the first one was nervous and the second one is more like upset.
Yeah, परेशान.
Did not really-
Yep, yep.
Or
Yes.
worried, no?
Worriedly.
Or maybe.
Yep. I'll have one more, which is I said fearfully. Okay, fearfully. Tom, you want to give this one a try?
Yes, please, Ashu Ji. I don't know the word for to be afraid or to fear.
What do you think?
It seems to me that if it
It's a feeling, mujhko, like,
Darna.
yeah, very good, right? So, darna, that's right. Now, Tom,
Darna.
yeah, darna is the,
mujhe kaate hue.
no, I said, okay, so darna is the verb. So, try one more time. So, maine,
Maine
huh?
darte hue.
Very good. मैंने डरते हुए कहा.
Kaha.
मैंने डरते हुए कहा. Okay, I said.
And is the verb always the masculine singular past tense? Kaha.
Because I said. This one is in the past. I said. Okay. Now.
Yes. If I said we said, would it be kahe for the verb?
What do you think?
I think that my postposition ne is going to be affecting things, so it's going to stay kaha.
That's right. It will be always kaha. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So to kind of illustrate this one, if it was, and I think somebody asked this question as well, but so that you will have it in the notes, I'm gonna just write it here. So imagine if it was लड़के ने डरते हुए कहा. Okay. लड़कों ने डरते हुए कहा. Okay. लड़की ने और लड़कियों ने. So masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, and feminine plural. All of them, will say the same thing. Okay, लड़के ने डरते हुए कहा, लड़के ने हंसते हुए कहा. Similarly, all of them you can follow it. Questions before we jump to some more complicated one? Well, this is the last chapter, okay? So you should feel that there is some challenges, right? So I should feel the same as well, right? Because if it is too easy, then All right. If there are no questions, so these were all the think of them as advanced adverbs. If you go and search some of my previous videos on adverbs, I think you should, if you've missed it, you should definitely watch it as a recap. This is a very good, I think small video, not too long of a video, but it covers a good summary of adverbs. Okay, but after that, you come to this one, because we cover adverbs in many ways: adverbs of time, adverbs of place, adverbs of, there are 6 or 7 sections of adverbs. Okay, and I think Uni, you have a question. You're raising your hand. Go for it.
Okay, I have question. When you explain worry, I remember the worry. The word is pareshan hona. But you write down on the whiteboard hareshan hona. So hareshan hona and the pareshan hona is the same.
What did I write? Pareshan? Did I not?
You wrote H-A-R. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Did I write R there?
No. You write down H-A-R-E.
P? Say it one more time. What did I write?
You wrote down 5 minutes ago. H Hong Kong. H-A-R-E-S-H-A-N. Hareshan.
Oh, PH. Did I write H after that?
No, not P.
Then?
Not P there.
H.
Yes.
Oh.
HA.
No. So that must be a typo. It's Pareshan, okay? It's not Hareshan. Sorry about that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
glad
Thank
you got it. I'm glad you got it. It's Pareshan, okay? So you have it.
Thank you for the question, Yuni. I thought I didn't, because I know it's Pareshan and I said Pareshan, but when you wrote with H, I thought maybe that's the correct way and I don't know.
No. I'm
But
glad.
thank you for the question.
In my mind, I wrote Pareshan, but what I.
Okay.
But I'm glad you guys got it, so thanks so much. See, that's a good thing. Right, so let's move on to the slightly more advanced version. So, and here Rupert Snell, he does a pretty good job because he says like there are many use cases of these imperfective and perfective participles. Okay, and there are cases, where you can use them, and we're going to go over, of them. One of the cases, if you want to describe passage of time, okay, since the current event started, since the current event or thing started. Now, I don't know how, when we learned, growing up, when we learned tenses in English, it was always like, the indefinite form, then continuous form, then the perfect form, and then the last one is basically continuously happening, like such as like I have been learning. Okay, that was the fourth form of the tense that was taught, where it is capturing a passage of time since the current event or thing has started. It could be something like, I've been learning Hindi for past, let's say 5 years. Okay. Or I've been staying in India, let's say, for 10 years. Okay. Current event. Okay. It's currently, it's there, but you're trying to capture the time since this thing has started. Since you've been learning Hindi, since you've been staying, in a particular place. Okay. I tried to cover this one, but that was a special case that we ended up covering in the quiz. So the context is really the special case of using the imperfective participle. Okay, current event. And Rupert Snell says that, when you're using it, you will use imperfective participle there. So learning Hindi since a passage of time. So the verb here is seekhna. Okay, and he says you will remove the na and you will say सीखते हुए. Okay, सीखते हुए. Okay, let's not worry about the full sentence right now. Just worry about how the how this part will, Hindi सीखते हुए. Okay, how this part will, just this piece, you will say it in Hindi. Okay, so you will say Hindi सीखते हुए. Hindi सीखते हुए. Okay, let's do some more cases before we do the full sentence. Okay, let's say if the case was like, a passage of time since, सीखते हुए, okay, and then similarly, you have a sentence, a big sentence, which is you have, I have been staying, or I've been living in India for X number of years. So in India, and like how will you say this part? Okay, to live or to stay is रहना. Okay, so it's really the conjugation is you remove the na and put the te, and then you will put हुए, रहते हुए. Okay, it is really reflecting the passage of time. This whole part is referring to the passage of time. Okay, that's why it's रहते हुए. You will not change it to something else, रहता हुआ or रहती हुई. You will not do that. Okay, it's it's reflecting to that. So सीखते हुए, रहते हुए, बोलते हुए, चलते हुए, all of them if you are using in the context of passage of time. Okay, let me say it again before I take any of the questions, so that way it helps you. So if I were to write the whole sentence, okay, which is basically I've been learning Hindi for 20 years. Okay, I have been learning Hindi for 20 years. Okay, so मुझे, to me, हिंदी सीखते हुए, मुझे हिंदी सीखते हुए 20 साल हुए हैं. Now this is a very complicated sentence, especially if you're learning it not through immersion but through grammar, because many things are coming together here. Okay, you focus on this part only, Hindi सीखते हुए right now, if it is too hard for you. Okay, 20 साल is simple, that's not a problem. Okay, anybody can answer why we are using mujhe here?
Because it is coming to you. It is something outside and it's more of the subject and it is coming to you.
Okay. What about the other way around? If you are the,
Oh, because the age is to you.
That's right.
At that.
Yeah.
It's because of the age. So if it wasn't about age, you would say मैं हिंदी सीखते हुए यहाँ रहता हूँ or something like that, right?
Yeah. So this is correct, right? It's coming to you. So मुझे हिंदी सीखते हुए 20 साल हुए हैं. Okay. But speakers, not to confuse you guys, but like speakers, while I'm saying it, speakers can take the liberty to say differently as well, which is मैं 20 साल से हिंदी सीख रहा हूँ. And this is a rather more straightforward form, which is, मैं हिंदी सीख रहा हूँ. I'm learning Hindi. Right? मैं चल रहा हूँ. I'm walking. Okay? मैं बोल रहा हूँ. I'm speaking. All you did was you put the passage of time here. मैं 20 साल से. Okay? This is a more direct form. You're not really using any kind of participle here. Okay? So
Ashu, this when people say, since 20 years I'm living here.
Yeah.
Like in English. Like, is this the Hindi translation of that?
That's right. That's
Since
exactly.
20 years I'm living in Hindi. Okay, so that's it. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the easiest form. In fact, it just occurred to me that, if the special case is hard for you, you stick with the simple case, which is just like, मैं 20 साल से हिंदी सीख रहा हूँ और मैं 20 साल से, अमेरिका में रह रहा हूँ. Okay. However, if somebody else is using this participle, you should be able to understand it, that where they're coming from. Okay, which is basically मुझे, this is coming to you, हिंदी सीखते हुए 20 साल हुए हैं और मुझे लंदन में रहते हुए 15 साल हुए हैं. Okay, and Rupert Snell uses these examples as well, if you want to look at it.
Ashutosh Ji,
Yeah.
why is it Bisal Hue Hang there? Why in the first one? Is that because the years have gone by and it's not like me living it, it's just the years are the subject and they have happened? Is that why it's Hue Hang?
Two different things. Hindi सीखते हुए is like, this part 20 साल हुए हैं, right? So either you can say हो गए हैं, or you can conjugate hona. So it's the form of hona that is getting changed to basically fit that sentence.
Meaning that it has gone by.
That's right.
It has been since that time.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. This one is hard.
So
Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
Is the hona that's happened? Is that what that one is? The hui in that case?
That's right.
In the hui, it's the happened, and then the hey is just because of the muje happened.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was the special case I fitted last time, and it basically we had a lot of questions. But as I said, like if it is hard, stick with the simplest one, because it has ko is hard. Oftentimes it's hard because it's when you're speaking it, it's hard to kind of like find out is it coming to me, right? I mean it's only with practice you are like, okay, it's coming to me, so I have to use ko there. Okay.
That's just have been, right? Am I being too simple there?
Where
Hui
which one?
hey?
Which one?
Is that have been?
It has been 20 years since I've been like
Right, but is the hui hey the have been? Like it's like you would have eaten or have slept, or so it's have been because hona is to be.
Hona is to be. So that is correct. So what is the this part is tricking you still? The hue part? Why?
Now it makes sense to me. I was thinking it was like hona in terms of to happen, but now I see it's just like have been or have eaten or have slept. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question on this one? Quiet, everyone. Let's take a reflection. Tom? Any reflection?
Yes, if I make a comment again, Ashu Ji, just as with our adjectival forms, this sikte hue has really nothing to do with the verb.
That is correct.
We're using a verb to express an adverbial sense.
Yeah.
So the verb is actually hue he.
Yeah.
But the adverb, how long since I've been doing something,
Yeah.
since I began studying Hindi, is what the sikte hue expresses.
That's right.
An adverb.
Yeah. But it's like, it's adverb of time, but it's hard to kind of like, it basically, when you are saying it, you cannot really think it, the grammar doesn't come to us basically, but like, as we are breaking it down, it makes sense though.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So we'll do the next, how are we doing with time? Okay. So we'll do some more special cases, and if time doesn't permit, we'll move it to next class, so we'll not rush. So now the next case is, which is case number 2, when the action is repeated over time. Action is repeated over time or constantly. Okay, action is repeated over time or constantly. Okay, so let's say your sentence is kids got tired. Kids got tired. Vatsalaji, what do you think? How will we say that? Kids got tired.
बच्चे थक गए.
Very good. बच्चे थक गए. Okay, बच्चे थक गए. I'm not going to put है here. बच्चे थक गए. Kids got tired. Okay. Now let's say the kids got tired The same sentence was written. They were playing and they were playing so much. You have kids got tired playing all day. Playing all day. Okay, how will we say that? Okay, if you were using simply, while playing, kids got tired. If it was a simple thing, kids got tired while playing. Okay, you would say, बच्चे थक गए. While playing, okay, while driving, while speaking, okay. In that case, you will use the participle form of the verb and then हुए. Okay, to play is खेलना, and you will say बच्चे खेलते हुए थक गए. Okay, but this case is action is repeated over time. Okay, in that case you will not use हुए, you will just write that form twice and you will say बच्चे खेलते खेलते थक गए. Okay, to simplify it again, if an action is repeated over time, you will just use the relevant participle form twice. बच्चे बोलते बोलते थक गए. Okay, they got tired just speaking again and again. Okay, बच्चे खेलते खेलते थक गए. बच्चे पूरा दिन खेलते खेलते थक गए. They got tired playing all day. Okay, teacher पढ़ाते पढ़ाते थक गया. A teacher got tired, teaching throughout the day because they have to give 8 classes or something like that in the entire day. Okay, let's say you go to a meeting and you are the only one chatty and you are non-stop chatting. मैं बोलते बोलते थक गया. Okay, let me take a pause here. Okay, to see if this is helping or any other question there. If I were to ask you, which other participle can you try here instead of खेलते खेलते? Let's say you have this thing in front of you. बच्चे थक गए. I gave you 2 of them. One is खेलते खेलते. The other one is बोलते बोलते. By the way, they don't get tired while they have a lot of energy, kids, right? So this is incorrect. दौड़ते दौड़ते. Very good. दौड़ते दौड़ते थक गए. What does it mean? Running. दौड़ते दौड़ते. Okay, very good. दौड़ते दौड़ते थक गए. What else? रोते रोते थक गए. Anyone else?
चलते चलते
चलते चलते थक गए. Okay.
तैरते तैरते.
तैरते तैरते. Okay.
हंसते हंसते.
हंसते हंसते. Okay. It's coming now. Okay. Devi, you want to try it out? Any other new?
बढ़ते बढ़ते.
Which one?
बढ़ते बढ़ते.
Louder, louder.
बढ़ते बढ़ते.
पढ़ते पढ़ते. I see. पढ़ते पढ़ते. Okay. They were reading so much, studying so much that they got tired. पढ़ते पढ़ते.
That's the dream of all of us parents.
Yeah, I know. I know that doesn't happen. On the other hand, it's TV देखते देखते. Like my daughter, sometimes she watches so much TV. I'm like, oh, you got tired now watching TV. TV देखते देखते, right? So that's a good one. Okay, so this is good. Let's move on to. I think we can do one more case. Okay, so this was case 2. Now case 3.
So Ashu, like when we're doing sentences where, I was listening to Hindi podcasts while walking my dog, it's very clear while is where you just use the the hue, right? So
Yeah.
if you're using the double, it's to give you the sense not that you're doing something at the same time. It's just that
Over time.
it is
Over
over
repeat.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it could be a combination of rote rote. It could be the combination of this as well. Sometimes the action runs in parallel to the main verb, which is the case 3. Action, it runs in parallel to the main verb. Okay. The example is मैं घूम रही हूँ, and I'm just imagining you in this case. Kelly ji, let's say you're walking around Berkeley, right? मैं घूम रही हूँ और मैं चल रही हूँ. Okay. Now, an action is running in parallel to the main verb. The main verb is you are walking or you are घूम रही हूँ, right? And now you want to say, okay, मैं podcast सुनते सुनते घूम रही हूँ. Okay. So you have now मैं हिंदी पॉडकास्ट सुनते सुनते घूम रही हूं. Okay, so this action is running in parallel with the main verb. Now you can say, can I say मैं हिंदी पॉडकास्ट सुनते हुए घूम रही हूं? Absolutely correct. You can say that too. Slight nuance though, right? Slight difference though. It's
What
hard.
is the slight nuance? I'm not quite getting it.
It's very hard to explain that because there is no English translation to that, right? I mean, the only one I can think of is like, you are doing it while,
The while I get. The while for
this
sure.
is the while part,
Right.
right? Hue is the while part. Sunte sunte is like, the only translation I can give you that
Oh,
this.
maybe at the same time?
Yes.
Like I was walking around Berkeley at the same time listening to a.
That's right. It's yeah.
All right.
Now it's it's hard to kind of like deliver that, right, as an example.
Does one have more of a feeling expression to it, Ashu Ji? Like you would use one versus the other?
Yeah.
Like is one more fun or casual than the other, or?
Yeah, right. Like similarly, let's say the main activity is like मैं घर. So I'm just like doing the case 3 again. So which is basically you have a main verb which is मैं घर साफ कर रहा हूँ. I'm cleaning the house, right? मैं घर साफ कर रहा हूँ. The activity that is running in parallel is मैं. Let's say you want to do something in parallel to that, like TV देखते देखते घर साफ कर रहा हूँ. ओके. मैं खाना बनाते बनाते घर साफ कर रहा हूँ. ओके. मैं what else? What else? Let me ask you guys. You take risk here, even if it is incorrect, so be it. An activity that you would, and feel free to change the example altogether. But let's say you have a main sentence, and there is a action or a thing that is happening in parallel. Everyone is quiet.
Kate.
Khate. Okay. Okay. So finish it up. What will you say? मैं खाना खाते
मैं हिंदी की मैं what would I say? Would I have to put in a song? Like
give a chance. And you can change the sentence also.
मैं अंग्रेजी गीत और गाना मैं अंग्रेजी गाना गाते गाते
घर साफ ओके गाना गाते गाते
घर साफ कर रही हूँ.
ओके मैं गाना गाते गाते awesome मैं गाना गाते गाते घर साफ कर रही हूँ. ओके awesome anything else anyone else
phone बात करते करते.
फोन पे बात करते करते ओके मेरे फोन पे बात करते करते. Anyone who hasn't had a chance so far? Miraji, you want to give this one a try? What do you typically do when you are doing any kind of cleanup? Any parallel activity that you would like to, say? Yep, you can unmute yourself. I can change the main sentence as well.
Radio.
Yep.
सुनते
Very good. रेडियो सुनते सुनते मैं रेडियो सुनते सुनते घर साफ कर रही हूँ.
घर साफ कर रहा है.
Awesome. Anyone else? I think everyone participated. I feel good about that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the broadcast and I'll take any questions from folks who are live. So Sarah ji has written a good example. मैं आशु जी की हिंदी क्लास YouTube पे देखते देखते हिंदी सीख रही हूँ. Awesome. Thank you so much for folks who joined us through Facebook. We'll have one more class next week, and after that we'll have a couple of 3 weeks of break. So we'll try to wrap up the Rupert Snell book next Sunday. So do join. Okay.